Shalom, 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 shalom. Beautiful children of the true and living power. It's your boy, I'm back at it again. Chief Baya, aka Chief Nini. Back at it again to give y'all another special. Okay? So we're gonna get into this. This is gonna be the saga of the Sabbath day, the seventh day. Okay, we're gonna dive into this thing. And I'm gonna try to get through this the best way possible. It's so much due that he's just been dropping on me. It's insane, man. So I have to try to get all this new information together, you know what I'm saying, and do things accordingly. And I'm gonna try my best for my people to get this. I wish most can interact, you know what I'm saying? If most can interact, that'd be awesome. You got questions, ask, you know. But yeah, man, we're gonna let me get my camp up in here. They trying to hide my squad. Trying to hide the house of Yosef from me on the book. And we're gonna get going here. We are going to get going here, all right? And we're gonna break this thing down. I promise to deliver destroying this false idol. Okay? Because we can't believe that we will get to that point of salvation when we still have the dumb idol in our face. And most can't identify it. Right? Most can't identify it at all. But today we're going to identify that false idol. Okay? That lion snake. And what I'm going to start off with is, remember I came at y'all with Daniel. I want us to focus on Daniel. I know you probably can't see it with the light, you know, just beaming right now on the screen. But I want us to focus on Daniel chapter 8, because this is going to be very, very crucial, very, very critical to the point that I'm trying to drive home. Okay? So I want to focus on Daniel chapter 8, verse 10 on down. So anybody care to follow me, please do so. Because the whole thing that I want my people, and just people of righteousness in general, I want you to tune in and tap into your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because everything that I'm going to be delivering from this message is spiritual. Okay? It's coming from the higher realms. It's coming from the Shemaims. In other words, it's coming from mother and it's coming from father. Wisdom and knowledge. Okay? And so, I'm going to read out of Moshe in the Wilderness real quick. out of Moshe in the wilderness, out of the collection, the volumes of the Legend of the Jews. This is volume 3. Okay. The gifts of the princes is the chapter. The gifts of the princes. It's all throughout your Bible, but most ignore it. Most don't even know who the princes are in your Torah. Okay? And we have no clue to how vital that is. Throughout the Bible, it speaks on the princes. Like it states in the Apocalypse of Daniel, it states that the king and his 2 small boys, once the king lay down in peace and serenity, he's going to take up his 2 small boys with him. Okay? So I want to start. I mean, man, I could really go back. I mean, it's really throughout this whole chapter, but I'm trying to drive my point home, so I got to start at certain points just to get through it, because it's so much. So I'm going to start close to the end of the chapter, close to the end. And I'm going to actually be throwing out there or killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay. Now, only who I'm going to be revealing to you, or what I'm going to be revealing to you, is the 2 princes. Okay. I'm going to also reveal to you, by the Spirit of the Holy One, who Shiloh is. For those that haven't been following, for those, that's not new, they already know who it is. Of course, the house that I dwell in, my brother in the house of Joseph, they already know this. And we are here to present that to you. Okay, so you can know what salvation requires and what salvation looks like. So it reads this: a special distinction was granted to the tribe of Ephraim, for God allowed their prince to make his offering on the Sabbath day. Now, who would be the prince of Ephraim? See, that's why it's critical. That's why it's critical, okay, to look into the book of Daniel and how it lines the prince, the Messiah. It says the prince, the Messiah. Okay? It didn't say the king, the Messiah, the King of Kings, the Messiah. So we're going to break this down. Just stay tuned with me. Stay with me. My beloved sister Jess is in here. Shalom. Shalom. It's a beautiful thing. So we're gonna cook. We're gonna get into this. Okay? Pay attention to that prince. That's just one. That prince to make his offering on the Sabbath day, a day on which otherwise none but the daily offerings were allowed to be offered. Okay. This distinction the tribe of Ephraim owed to his ancestor Joseph in recognition of his strict observance of the Sabbath as governor of Egypt. Okay. The gifts of this tribe represents the history of Jacob and of Joseph for the descendants of the latter owed much to Jacob's love for his son Joseph. The charger alluded to Jacob and the bowl to Joseph. And as both these vessels were filled with fine flour mingled with oil, so too were both Jacob and Joseph very pious men. Pious man means very righteous men. Okay. And the course of their lives ran evenly. The spoon symbolized Jacob's right hand, which he laid on the head of Ephraim to bless him. I want y'all to pay close attention. Close attention. And let me know if y'all can hear me well. Because I know Facebook, when I start doing this stuff, when I start reading from these books, they want to get a little jumpy with me. All right? So y'all please, sis, if everything is okay, put an 11 in the comment. If you can hear me fine and everything Gucci, put an 11 in the comment for me, please. So, here we go. Jacob's right hand, which he laid on the head of Ephraim to bless him. The spoon was filled with incense. Jacob laid his right hand upon Ephraim and not upon his elder brother Manasseh, because he knew, right, that the former was worthy of distinction. What does this mean right here? He knew of distinction. It's in similitude, right? It's in similitude. Just as Jacob blessed the youngest as he was blessed and given the birthright as the youngest between him and his brother, which is Esau, and ran the same course with his favorite son, Joseph. Okay? And Joseph was what? The youngest until Benjamin came. But by then, Joseph was already out the picture, right? He's already out the picture. And so, look at who he's calling the former. He knew. This is why he understood his dreams in depth, in totality. He understood even more than Joseph did. You know? So, Jacob laid his right hand upon Ephraim and not upon his elder brother Manasseh, because he knew that the former was worthy of distinction. The 3 burnt offerings corresponded to the 3 patriarchs, whereas the kid of the goat stood for Joseph, whose coat had been smeared with a kid's blood. The 2 oxen of the peace offering, what was I saying earlier on a little live I put out today? Once you get past this dumb idol that we have allowed the adversary to place in front of us, right? We allowed the wicked to place in front of us by our shortcomings, okay? We have blinded ourselves from our true identity. So you're thinking that it's this Jesus that they have presented to us that's going to be the Messiah for us. No. The true Messiah, okay, he comes with the people. Okay, the true Messiah, I'll say it again, comes with the people, and I'm going to show you that. The two oxen of peace, of the peace offering, indicate the two blessings that the sons of Joseph had received from their grandfather Jacob. And the three kinds of small cattle that were offered as peace offerings corresponded to the three generations of Ephraim that Joseph was permitted to see before his death. Now let me stop right there. Okay, and we're going to precept, and then we're going to get back into this story right here. But I want to precept, okay, so we can get this understanding. Now, he's talking, he's talking of these three things that are to be representations of sacrifice. Now, what religion has taught us about sacrifice is a whole different meaning of what the true and living God means when he speaks of sacrifice. Okay? If you go to Exodus 34, verse 1, it says this to you. And the Most High said unto Moshe, hew thee 2 tables, and I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, the word that were in the first tables, which thou breakest. The parable is code word. That's a code word. Tables is a code word for the body. The word which was made flesh. Okay? His 2 sons are words that were made flesh. His laws and his statutes. Go check out Brother Man. He just did something. I think he was reading out of the Keys of Enoch. DNA in the 10 Commandments. DNA in the 10 Commandments. Okay? And that's a precept. That video that he put out is a precept to what I read in the Legend of the Jews, bringing out how the dead man's coffin, which Joseph's flesh was in, came next to the ever-living God. Okay? And trust me, I probably have to go over that again. I got no problem. Now, this right here, I want to take you to verse 4. Verse 4 is the precept. Slid on me. Slack you. Verse 4 is the precept to this, okay? And he hewed 2 tables of stone, like unto the first. There go that again. This is what goes over most of my people's heads, and of course the world's, for the lack of knowledge. They go right over their head. Who is like unto the first? Who was the first? We must acknowledge who was the first. Just gave you the hint. While he was here in the flesh, while he was here in the flesh, he performed what? And we're going to go into Daniel with that. We're going to go back to chapter 8 with Daniel to precept what I'm saying to you. And then that false prophet will be realized. Okay? Most High willing. And he hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first. Make sure this thing don't fall no more on me, y'all. Hold on. Like it's trying to slip on me. Ain't trying to have none of that. Not today. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying anything and everything right now. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do for right now. This is what I'm gonna do for right now. Hold on. I'm gonna just hold the hose. I'm gonna just hold it. Okay. So he says, and he hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first. And Moshe rose up early in the morning and went up unto Mount Sinai as the Most High had commanded him, and took in his hand the 2 tables of stone. And the Most High descended in the cloud and stood with him there. Okay. And proclaimed, let me take it back, because this is where they you know, supersize and push the name Lord to, it's a cover-up, right? Because it says, and it's meant for confusion. It's meant for confusion. So I'll be getting people that be like always criticizing the Bible and say they did. So they did. You're right. They did. But that's telling. That's self-telling, right? If they had to tamper with it, it must mean that it's true, right? If it's a lie, that means the work is already done. They don't need to do anything with the Bible if they just making it up, right? They don't need to do nothing to it. What's the saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it says, and the Lord descended, and it got capital, and the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of the Lord, capital again, and the Lord passed by before him and proclaimed the Lord, capital again, the Lord God. See, now it says the Lord God. You see? See how they still got to tell on themselves with the buffoonery that they're trying to pull? This is all by design, okay? Merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty. All right, visiting the iniquity of the fathers, upon the children and upon the children's children unto the 3rd and to the 4th generation. Okay. And Moshe made haste and bowed his head toward the earth and worshiped. And he said, if now I have made, or if I have found grace in your sight, O Lord, let my Lord See, if we just stay in the context of things and don't let them manipulate what the Spirit is showing you, okay? Don't let them manipulate, because they in here. All right? Don't think for 1 second dirty draws don't have access to your mind. This is where he plays. Okay? This is how you get his title, the Father of Lies. Because all he do in your head all day is about this is about to dump a whole bunch of lies off on you. So, and he said, if now I have found grace in your sight, O Lord, let my Lord, this will sound very similar, let my Lord, I pray thee, go among us, go among us, go among us. For it is a stiff-necked people, in pardon our iniquities and our sin, and take us for your inheritance. Remember, right here, okay? I'm going to show you like probably 5 precepts to this. What he's saying right here, you got to remember, Moshe is a what? Levite, right? Who's with him right here? Exodus 33 and 11. Coincidence? Exodus 33 and 11 reads this. And the Most High spake unto Moshe face to face, as a man speaketh unto his friend. And he turned again into the camp. But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. Remember what he's told him already. He said, let not no man come up here with you, and no man shall come up with thee. So who is Joshua again, right? All right. So with that precept, verse 9, okay, verse 9, now we identify who it is. And I remember I said that precept that sounds very, very similar to saying, let my Lord, okay, as he's talking to the Lord, he's saying, let my Lord, all right, no biggie, we got you. Psalms 110, verse 1. Psalms 110, verse 1 reads this. The Lord said unto my Lord. The Lord said unto my Lord. See, now right here, they got big case Lord and little case Lord. Sit thou at my right hand until I make thy enemies your footstool. Sit thou at my right hand until I make your enemies my footstool. Now watch this. It sounds very familiar, don't it? Sounds very familiar, y'all. Joshua, Yehoshua, all right, chapter 10, and I'm going to start at 24. And it came to pass, when they brought out those kings unto Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel, and said unto the captains of the men of war, which went with him, come near, put your feet upon the necks of these kings, And they came near, and they put their feet upon the necks of them. And Joshua said unto them, Fear not, nor be dismayed. Be strong and of good courage. For thus shall the Most High power do to all your enemies against whom ye fight. He sound like he the one to me. He sounds like he's the one to me. I don't know about you, but he sounds like he's the one to me, y'all. He sound like he the one to me. It don't sound like he's talking or trying to make it seem like his doctrine is his own. Right? Like his doctrine didn't come from the Almighty. So let's get Psalms 110, verse 1 again. The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou at my right hand until I make thy enemies your footstool. The Most High shall send the rod of your strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thy enemies. Okay. And trust me, we're going to get to that point where we're going to expose to you who Mother Zion is. Okay? We're going to expose to you. You're going to see it for yourself. Now I want to go to Second Esdras, and I went over this time and time again, right? This time, it's going to hit that much harder from the previous times that I went over. Second Esdras, chapter 14. Now I'm going to start at verse 3. And verse 3 reads, Then he said unto me, I revealed myself in a bush and spoke to Moshe, when my people were in bondage in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt. And I led him up on Mount Sinai, where I kept him with me many days. And I told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times, and declared to him the end of times. Then I commanded him, saying, These words you shall publish openly, and these you shall keep secret. And now I say to you, lay up in your heart the signs that I have shown you, the dreams that that you have seen, and the interpretations that you have heard. For you shall be taken up from among men, and henceforth. See, right now, what I'm reading to you is what I just read in Exodus chapter 34. Okay? So this right here is the part that you're not going to find just in your King James Bible. Okay? This is giving you more in depth to the conversation and the plan that he revealed to Moshe, his servant. Okay? When he put him up there on Mount Sinai. All right? So look. For you shall be taken up from among men, and henceforth you shall live with my son. Who was the only one up there with him? Who was the only one up there with Moshe? I don't get the brothers. These Hebrew brothers. Why don't we ever want to accept what's being said by the Most High God? Why? Why is that such a struggle for us, man? And then we get mad at the world, right? We get mad at the world because the world don't want to hear our voice. The world don't want to hear our complaints. They can give two shits, right? We got to stop being hypocrites. I know that's something y'all don't want to hear. But frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. I don't. Because I want out of here. I want this chaos to stop. I want the stupidity to end. And for us to be set free. Okay? He says what in verse 9? 2nd Esdras, chapter 14. For you shall be taken up from among men. Right? Remember. Let's go back to Exodus 34. Let's go back. I'm going to paint this picture for y'all. Just follow me, okay? I'm going to paint this picture for y'all. Exodus 34, verse 3. And no man shall come up, 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 and no man shall come up. Right? Neither let any man be seen throughout all the mountains. Okay. So let's go back. Let's take it back. And verse 9 states what? For you shall be, in 2nd Esdras chapter 14, verse 9. For you shall be taken up from among men, and henceforth you shall live with my son, and with those who are like you, until the times are ended. For the age has lost its youth, and the times being to grow, or in the times being to grow old. For the age is divided into 12 parts, and 9 of its parts have already passed, as well as half of the 10th part. So 2 of its parts remain. Besides, half of the 10th part. Now therefore, set your eyes, or set your house in order, and reprove your people, confront or comfort and lowly among them, right? And in instruction those that are wise, and instruct those that are wise, and instruct those that are wise. Meaning, don't deal with an idiot that's not about to even give you a time of day. Or that say, oh man, he coming with that religion, or he coming with that Bible stuff again, man. Ah man, he coming out, there go that religion, there go that Jesus Christ. When in your Bible, that Jesus Christ, that same Jesus Christ that you thinking that we're speaking, that I'm talking about, right? That same Jesus Christ is getting destroyed. Okay? That same Jesus Christ that you think I'm speaking of, by coming out of the Bible, I'm actually speaking against. So, yeah, that's what I'm gonna get from there for now. Just now we got to go back to, I want to go back to Moshe in the wilderness, and I got to read this out. Got to bring this out, right? Joseph not only observed the Sabbath, he was also chaste not to be tempted by Potiphar's wife, and he was faithful in the service of his master. God therefore said to Joseph, thou hast kept the seventh commandment. Thou shalt not commit adultery, and hast not committed adultery with Potiphar's wife. And thou hast also kept the following commandment, the eighth. Thou shalt not steal, for thou didst steal neither Potiphar's money nor his conjugal happiness, meaning his cookies. He didn't steal, he didn't put his hands, okay, in the cookie jar when the wife was tempting him to do so, literally forcing him, taking his hand, trying to make his hand touch down there where the cookies at. All right? This is where most men would fail. Most. I'm talking about like 97.88%. And that's me being generous. All right? Nor his conjugal happiness. Hence, there will come a time when I shall give thee the reward due thee, when hereafter the princes of the tribes will offer their offerings at the dedication of the altar. The two princes among your descendants shall one after the other offer their offerings, the one on the 7th, the other on the 8th. All right? The one on the 7th and the other on the 8th day of the dedication, as a reward, because thou didst observe the 7th and the 8th commandments. The prince of the tribe of Manasseh now follow that of Ephraim, trying like the preceding symbolically to represent Jacob's and Joseph's lives. Let me correct, I said to Big Ump, I said to my elder, I said to him that it was Benjamin and Joseph, the first two of Ephraim and Manasseh. Correction on that. Reading this now, the first Ephraim and Manasseh was Jacob and Joseph. All right? Let the spirit resonate with that, all right? Because that's what this is saying right now. Because that's why, let me go back so you can understand what I'm saying to you right now. This is the meaning of it. When he says Jacob placed his right hand on the head of Ephraim to bless him, the spoon was filled with incense. Jacob laid his right hand upon Ephraim and not upon his elder brother Manasseh, because he knew that the former was worthy of distinction. You see? That's the reason why he told Joseph, and Joseph showed such a son, a loving son to his father. He was giving the same energy back to Jacob. Like, no. Joseph knew, but he was giving that energy back to Jacob. No, let it be. It's going to be you. Let it be you. Let it be you. Jacob, no. This is what was transpiring through the servant and his master. Okay? They love each other so dearly, they was tussling on who to give the blessings to. You feel me? But in this regard, the servant was right. The servant knew what to do to honor his master. Okay? So look, the prince of the tribe of Manasseh now followed that of Ephraim, trying like the preceding symbolically to represent Jacob's and Joseph's lives. The charger 130 shekels in weight, indicate that Jacob, at the age of 130 years, migrated to Egypt for the sake of Joseph. The bowl of 70 shekels corresponded to Joseph, who caused 70 souls of the Hebrews to migrate to Egypt. The spoon of 10 shekels of gold indicate the 10 portions of the land that fell to Manasseh. The 3 burnt offerings corresponded to the 3 generations of Manasseh that Joseph was permitted to see before his death, whereas the kid of the goats, we called Jair, son of Manasseh, who died childless. The 2 oxen of the peace offering indicated that the possessions of the tribe of Manasseh were to be divided into 2 parts. On one, this side the Jordan, and beyond it. The 3 kinds of small cattle for peace offering corresponded to the triple attempt of Joseph to influence his father in favor of Manasseh, you see. Whereas the 5 heads of each indicated the 5 daughters of Zelophehad. I think I'm saying that right. But I think that's Moshe's wife, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. The only woman who, like man, received their shares in the distribution of the promised land. Now, remember, I told you that I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now we're about to get into who's Shiloh. And trust me, trust the spirit, that all of this is what I'm doing right now. It might seem like I'm going everywhere, but please stay with me, okay? Because all of this is going to make sense. And it's still going to lead and add up to the Sabbath day, all right? So watch this. As the sanctuary stood first in Shiloh, Joseph's possession. Don't believe me? Look, man, y'all need to get this book. It's very serious. You see that? It's very serious. It's very heavy. As the sanctuary stood first in Shiloh, Joseph's possession, then in Jerusalem, Benjamin's possession, so did this tribe with its sacrifice follow Joseph's tribe. And when it's speaking of the sacrifice, now we're about to get to the nitty-gritty. Like I said, it's all going to, work this way, and it's going to drive home that point that I'm trying to make. So let's go to the book of Daniel, where I said we must dive into to get this understanding. Okay. So we want to go to Daniel chapter 8. And we're going to start. At 10. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the Prince of Hosts. And by him, the daily sacrifice was taken away. Now we got to see the flip. Now his works is exposed, that false prophet. You know, the one that comes at the end, at the tail end. Because the Jesus that y'all know of, he was never known to be ancient. He never had the name Ancient of Days. That just don't even sound right. Right? So we know it ain't him. He took away the daily sacrifice. I want y'all to think, okay, on the flip that they did with that. This is why I said man's understanding of sacrifice and what the Most High tries to tell you what sacrifice really means. Man's sacrifice meaning you actually dying. That's why they perform these rituals. Why you think these rituals is at an all-time high? Because they are profaning the meaning of sacrifice. When you sacrifice, this is the true meaning of the Most High God. When you sacrifice, and when he's speaking of sacrifice, okay, he's talking about you sacrificing the acts of your flesh, which is the natural acts. Your natural acts is of the flesh. So by you living by the Spirit, you are a living sacrifice. That's what he means by be a living sacrifice unto the Most High God. All right? You embody those commandments that I just read about. This is what he was honored upon. Now look at our community. Look how they did us as a people, in which the entire world follows in similitude, because we are the leaders of the world. So everybody else copy right along with us. That's why it's on us to take responsibility for the wrongs that we have done. What is the saying in Spider-Man? With great power comes what? Great responsibility. They don't get these sayings from nowhere, man. All right? They don't get this from nowhere, Jack. Now, let's go back to painting dirty draws and who he actually is. Who is the one who claimed they took away sin? Who manipulated you to believe that when he died on a cross, he died for your sins? Huh? No. It's what the true Messiah showed while he was alive. It's how he lived. It's not how he died. It's how he lived his life in the flesh. The teachings that he put forth, that he showed with his actions, not with his mouth. Because he was like unto the first. Right? He was like unto the first. So he was a living sacrifice unto the Most High God. Meaning he took the laws of Joseph. He took the walk of Joseph. He walked that same walk. And his mission was to remind the people of who did it first. For these are not my words, but of him who has sent me. Who do you think sent him? Why do you think Jacob called him the former? The former is the latter. The latter is the former. It's one and the same concept. That's why he says there is nothing new under the sun. Because what happened then is going to happen now. This is why it's key, y'all. It's key for us to know, children of God. It's key for us to know who the ever living is, man. It's key for you to know who created you. That's important. Your salvation depends upon it. Okay? Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away. Meaning, what did he say? He took away the laws of God. By him dying on the cross, he took away the laws. Now, this ain't what the true Messiah says. Of course, we find the teachings of the true Messiah in the New Testament. But that's how they did the hickory dickory dock. This is what it means right here in verse 11, that he magnified himself even to the Prince of Hosts. Okay? He magnified himself. Meaning, all he does is mock God. So he mocked who? Yehoshua, son of Nun, the Ephraimite. All right? He mocked him. And this is only for my advanced, like-minded people. The one that sees spirit, right? Joshua, his higher self, is Michael. That's the parable in the book of Daniel itself. His higher self is Michael, the archangel, the Prince of Peace. Right? And it says, verse 12, and a host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced, and it practiced, and it practiced, and it practiced, yes, and it practiced and prospered, okay, against the truth. It cast the truth to the ground. This is why they lie in your schools. This is why they have to tell you a different history from what really transpired in real time. So it won't line up with the words that you will be reading in your Bible. You're not thinking that this talking history, that this is prophecy. Most in the church, they just believe that these are good omens. Like these are good like teachings for people to like, feel good about themselves. That's that religious mindset. That's very religious. This is a heavy induced spirituality book. Okay? Very heavy. So the practice and prosper is what they did to our ancestors when they came over here. What did they come over here with? I mean, man, dude, look, there's a statue in Louisiana of how they came to the Aboriginals over here with their Bible. Right? And they knew how we were spiritual. That's why they had to attack us spiritually first. They wasn't going to be able to attack us physically first. Are you insane? No. They had to get us spiritually first, because that's where our strength is at. They know we still hold dear, even though it don't matter how many times we screw up, we still hold dear to the laws of God. Okay? He is our Father. He's our Father. A loving Father, the best Father you can have. Of course, his words would always be dear or just embedded in us. And that's what I just read. This is why this is important for you to understand the parables that he is speaking, even in your Old Testament, even in the books that you know as Moshe's books, which is the Torah, which is the laws of God. The 2 tables of stone that he is referring to, that he has written his laws upon, is his children. Okay? His children are known as the sons of man. The sons of man, because they're the princes. Men are the kings of the earth. If you can get that parable. Okay? So I can say to you wholeheartedly right now that I'm a prince of God. I'm a prince of my king of old. And all that we see right now is ours by birthright. This is why they had to finagle the Bible. Why do you think they was trying to get rid of it about like 6 years ago? Right here over here in Cali. I'm right next door to Cali. This is why they tried to get rid of it in Cali. All right? This not no game, man. This is the game that they ran on us and all the people of the world. They wanted to make you believe that this was some made-up fairy tale story. That none of this has to do with the judicial system. None of this has to do with real history. None of it. So by them doing this, this is how they took war against the Most High. This is how they made war against the ever-living God. Something that he asked them not to do. But he knew they was going to do it anyway. That just speaks upon the mercy that is just abundant in him. Knowing what was going to happen, he still did it anyway. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Would you still let everything go as planned, knowing the horror, the trauma, the chaos, the mayhem, the insanity? His acts screams that he is the living God. Okay? He is the first. Joseph. 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 He is the first. Now you understand what Exodus chapter 34 verse 1 is saying to you. Make sure these two tables are like unto the first. Meaning he put his laws and his statutes and his commandments and his judgments within his children's hearts. This is why the world have to mess with my people the way they do it. This is why they came up with that dumbass, you're African American. That don't even make sense. Or you're black, or you're Afro-American, or the list continues. This is why. So once we fully wake up, we will be able to take back what is ours. Once you realize that your mother, okay, is not just a place. That was the symbolic of who she is. That's what she represents. But she was actually in the flesh, just like our father was. Right? Now it makes sense, right? You go to Jeremiah, what did he say? Did I give your mother a bill of divorcement? Let's go to it real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah real quick. Did I give your mother a bill of divorce? Did I do that to her? Is that in Jeremiah? I think it's in Jeremiah. Which one is in Jeremiah? Or is that Isaiah? I think that's Isaiah. Maybe I'm tripping. See? Hey, my brothers. Need my peace, man. We can fellowship in this, man. Oh yeah, man. I'm going crazy. Yeah, I think it's at 52. It's like it. Isaiah 52. I think this is what it reads in Isaiah 52, right? Verse 1, it says, awake, awake, put on your strength, O Zion. Put on your beautiful garments, O Yerushalayim, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee uncircumcised and unclean. Meaning, the uncircumcised part is talking about anyone who has malice, guile, evil, deceit in their hearts. That's what uncircumcised means. They don't have it there. He can't find guile. He can't find chaos. He can't find wickedness within your heart. Your heart is pure. Okay? That's true baptism. One-on-one for you. That's true baptism. Is your heart being bulletproof against those entities? Okay? Those entities can't reside there in your heart because your heart is circumcised, not uncircumcised, but circumcised. Man has made that a penis thing. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said following man's ways will lead to utter destruction because they can't teach you what the Most High can teach you. He's your only teacher. Every man falls short. Every man. All right? Shake thyself. Shake thyself. Verse 2. Shake thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down, O Yerushalayim. Loose thyself from the bands of your neck, O captive daughter of Zion. For thus saith the Most High, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. For thus says the Most High Power, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. And now therefore, what have I here, saith the Most High, that my people is taken away for naught. So he just told you that you already did the 400 years. Somebody forged that fake signature. Once again, this is why they lied about your history. Told you, oh, y'all are slaves. You ain't nothing but slaves. Your whole background, that's where it started. Y'all started off just being slaves. Worthless ass ninjas. That's where they want us to be and stay stagnant. And you have sellouts like Will Smith still making these slavery movies because they're trying to imprint that in your mind. But what is the living God telling you? What is he telling you? Huh? He says what? For thus says the Most High Power, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there. And as the Assyrian oppressed them without cause, now therefore, what have I have here? What have I here? Saith the Most High, that my people is taken away for naught. They that rule over them make them to howl, saith the Most High. And my name continually every day is blasphemed. My name. Who is blasphemed? We got to see this, y'all. We got to see this, man. This is not for a debate. This is truth. Just like we accept the house of Judah, why can't we accept that title and know that that's the house of God when it talks about the house of Joseph? Why can't we accept that? Why? Why, Israel? Why? I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I'm tired. You should be too. Beloved brother Ron just stepped in the building. You should be too, man. When are we going to have our day of rest? Newsflash. This is still not the day of rest. We're practicing it. This ain't it though. This ain't the Sabbath day that the Most High is talking about. The grand day, the Sabbath day is the same thing, okay, as the 1,000-year reign, man. The Melchizedek order, man. When the 1,000-year reign come, when the Sabbath day come, we're actually going to be doing the Lord's work on that day. All of his sons and daughters are going to be doing his work. That's why it's called the Melchizedek reign. We got to be done with this, man. We got to let this BS go, dog. It's so not worth it. Nothing in Dirty Draw's world is worth it, man. Not a damn thing. And look, if you really love your power, right? If you really love your God, how long, like he said, are we going to continually allow his name to be blasphemed with this goddamn Jesus Christ, man? How long? That's what he means by his name being blasphemed, is this goddamn Jesus Christ. It's covering us up. They came over here with that fake prophet, with that false Messiah. Can't you see? How long? House of Joseph, house of God, where the gods are at. Ye are gods. These two who are like unto the first. Know who your God is. How can this fake prophet be over us, Yasharella? Children of God, house of Judah, house of Jacob. How can they be over the two small boys that were, before they was taken away, that were the living sacrifice of the true and living God? Riddle me that. No. It's just that we don't want to put down that idol yet. And as long as we hold that stupid idol and don't just let that bitch drop and crack and break into dozens of pieces all over the floor, as long as we hold that up, we will continue to find ourselves in a world of darkness where there is no light, where there is no justice. Because you're not even recognizing yourself as justice when he told you that he made you as justice. as his judgments. Because when you're walking as a living sacrifice, when you're walking in peace, mercy, and love, and anything that comes against that, you get to be the judgment. That's what he left to his children. That's why they do us dirty. Because it's mockery of God himself. If you think they don't know this, you're a goddamn fool. They know very well. They know all too well. Enough to still have you captive in the mind. That's all they need. That's all they need. Is to still have us up here. Because we're not allowing knowledge to kick in. We like to debate when things that never been said or heard of. We like to debate against it instead of doing your own investigation about the subject, about the matter. We want to go against it. As if the Most High didn't put it in the Bible, right? And say, since ye have rejected knowledge, so shall I reject thee. We forget all about that one. And we just go straight to debating, confrontation. Wake up, Ephraim and Manasseh and Benjamin. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. And lift up the one that's gonna bring you up out of your slumber. That's going to open the books. You are a book. This is your story. Let him open the books so his words may stand true, so his counsel may stand. I'm going to continue on this matter. Oh, we're going down the line. This is going to be a long one, man. Yeah, this is going to be the longest saga that I ever did. We're going to go part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, I might do part 7. Hell, I might do 11. Just so we can get it up here. Most High willing. I pray that I don't even have to do that, though. I pray that the Most High would have came yesterday. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be here. If you righteous, you can't stand it here. This is hell. This is hell. It's Chief Baya, Chief Nini, answering the call when love calls. I answer. When love calls, I answer. And what I mean by that, the love that I'm referring to is the love of my Father. When love calls, I answer. Coming to y'all with another one. I pray I come to y'all again. I'm gonna try to probably pull a double, you know, because this message gotta get out. Gotta get out soon and fast, quick in a hurry. Because our people need to wake up and understand who they truly are. Okay? Come up out of her, my people. Come up out of her. She was a waste of your time. You don't need her. You understand? You don't need her no more. She held you back. All right? It's no more of her. No more. Set yourself free. For the truth shall set you free, my friend. And it does. And it does. So, peace and prosperity to all your households. Much love I send your way. Much love. Shalom. Shalom.